Hey guys, Marauder here, and welcome to a impromptu playthrough. This is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. This is the demo that came out during E3. I backed this on Kickstarter as soon as I heard about it. I am a huge Symphony of the Night fan. It's one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. So, when I heard that Igarashi was going to make another game in that same vein, I backed it without any question. So let's go ahead and check the demo out. I have played this before, so I'm going to kind of be rushing through some of the tutorial. It's your basic, D-pad to move, X button attacks, A button jumps, that kind of thing. So just like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you do have like a back step. You do have 2 different ways to attack. You do still search around for items and things. Like, see right in the corner there, I just picked up a long sword. So I can go into my equipment menu and equip it. It increases my attack and my range a little bit. I actually do really like the sword. Later on in the demo, you do pick up another weapon, Kung Fu Shoes, and even though it raises your attack by 1, I still don't use it because the range on the sword is much better than the shoes. So just to talk about Castlevania for a bit. Oh, alright, so what happens in this game as well is you can actually get powers from the creatures that you defeat. It kind of happens at random, but it gets mapped to your Y button, and then you can use it. It obviously uses up some of your magic power, which is represented by that blue bar. You can pick up various stained glass roses that refill it. Again, very much like Symphony of the Night, where you pick up various items to refill your health and magic. Okay, so that leather breastplate, so we can go in here and equip it, which raises our defense. And just like in the fashion of Symphony of the Night, going backwards is faster than going forwards. I never could figure that out. Backpedaling is faster than actually running forward. Like I said, I have played this demo before. It came out yesterday, and I downloaded it immediately and played through it. It's not that long, but it does give you a good taste of what the finished product will hopefully be. Alright, so I picked up a headband, so let's go ahead and equip that. Alright, so my defense went up a little bit more. I gotta say, I'm really digging the art style. Now, I wasn't a fan of the shader that they picked. Being a backer on Kickstarter, the development team, I guess, had a few shaders that they wanted to get feedback on, and I didn't vote for this particular shader. There was, I think, 3 or 4 that you could pick from, and seeing it in motion, though, I'm not against it or anything. Ooh, do I get his power? Alright. Although I think you get this one by default. Okay, so then this is what's called a directional shard, and what you can do with this is, I'm playing with an Xbox 360 controller, but what you can do is use the right stick to kind of move her hand, and then aim with the right, or fire with the right trigger. So in this case, it's going to blow this wall open, so we can keep going. I find with this shader, I find that the platforms are somewhat difficult to distinguish from the background, but maybe that will lessen over time when I play the final game. Anyway, back to Symphony of the Night. So, when I was in high school, I think I was in 10th or 11th grade, there was a upperclassman who was a friend of mine by the name of Joel. He had bought a PlayStation 2, or maybe he got it as a gift, I can't remember, but he had a PS2, didn't need his PS1 anymore, and so he offered to sell it to me for 20 bucks. Well, he said he was going to sell it, and I offered him 20 bucks for it because I didn't have a PS1. Anyway, so he did, he sold it to me, but he didn't give me any games. He did let me borrow Final Fantasy VII, which was nice of him, but all I really was buying was the system, 2 controllers, and I think it was a Performance brand third-party memory card, which worked out alright. So I went out to Blockbuster back when they were still a thing, and they were selling brand new PS2 games and PS1 games and various other console games. And I picked up 2 PS1 games. It was Mega Man Legends 2, because I was not a huge Mega Man fan, but I did like him. So Mega Man Legends 2 and Symphony of the Night. Now, obviously, as I've said before, Super Metroid is one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite game of all time. I think I keep switching what my top game is, but it's obviously in my top 5. So when I was playing Symphony of the Night, I didn't realize where the save rooms were, because in Metroid they were just those tubes that you could save in, whereas Castlevania had those like octagon shaped things, those big orbs that would turn into a casket. I didn't realize that actually was saving the game. And actually, well, to be honest, I didn't even know what they did until I read the manual. Okay, so see, we picked up Kung Fu shoes there, and even though, I'll show you, if you go to the menu and you switch, my attack goes up by 1, but I actually like the longsword because of the range. I'll switch to the shoes just to kind of show them off a little bit, but... So basically she'll kick. She can kick by default without weapons, but this kind of gives her a more powerful kick. And we leveled up. Very similar, again, to Symphony of the Night. But once I figured out, back to Symphony of the Night, once I figured out what those things were, that those were the save rooms and how to actually get around the game, it quickly became one of my favorites. So after that, I just started buying Castlevania games left and right. Things like Dawn of Sorrow on the DS. Whoa! Alright. Stop. Get away from me. And Portrait of Ruin and Order of Ecclesia on the DS. I never bought the Circle of the Moon or the other Game Boy Advance games. I can't remember the titles now that I think about it. I think it was Aria of Sorrow was the Game Boy Advance one. I never did pick those up or play those, but I did play all the DS ones. I was a little disappointed when Lords of Shadow came out and it was just kind of your generic God of War style action game. I mean, I still liked it. Whoa, gotta get out of there. Yeah, eat flame. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't like Symphony of the Night or the other games, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. It was certainly different, and that's not always a bad thing, but I just like this particular style of game. So, very happy with this demo. Like I said, I've played it previously, and it seems to be exactly what I was hoping for. Also, it was kind of a big deal for this to come out right after the release of Mighty Number 9, which was another kind of Kickstarter success story, I guess you could say, where it got a lot more funding than it initially was planning on. It's kind of a shame to see that game didn't meet expectations. I'm not exactly sure what people expected from Mighty Number 9. I didn't back Mighty Number 9 because personally, like I said, I'm not that big of a Mega Man fan. I like the character in the series, but I'm not going to go running out to fund... Oh! Hey, we found an error! Oh, look at that! Apparently switching screens multiple times crashes the game. Huh. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to restart this. I will be back with you in just a little bit. Okay, and we're back. I'm not really even sure if I should just restart this whole recording or what, but we'll just keep going. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. That's an interesting glitch we found. I might want to let them know about that. Then again, I don't know if... Obviously, this is a demo. This isn't the final product, so hopefully they'll iron out glitches and various other things before the final release. I think this is set to release in March of 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Do I have anything else? No, I'm literally back at the beginning. Okay. Not that that's a bad thing. So yeah, as you can tell, if anybody who's a fan of Symphony of the Night or games of that style, I think you're gonna really like this, because I do. But back to Mighty Number 9. I think obviously they weren't expecting $4 million. I think they were asking for like 900,000 or something like that. And all right, we picked up the shard again. So now I can. Or is that the Y? There we go. And re-equip the leather breastplate. The funny thing about it is, I don't think they expected $4 million. Obviously, they expected to succeed in their funding because it is Keiji Inafune, and a lot of people really like the Mega Man series, and it's really a shame what Capcom was doing to him, from what I understand. So I can definitely see why people backed it, and then there was a whole lot of enthusiasm, and then it all just sort of kind of petered out. The game got delayed multiple times, and it seemed like people just were not happy with anything that game did. Obviously, I didn't back it, like I said, but from what I have seen of the game, people playing it and various things, it's only $20, and it seems pretty good. I mean, it looks like a Mega Man game to me. Now, obviously, I'm not the biggest Mega Man fan, so maybe I'm mistaken. All right, we gotta pick this back up so we can light this cannon. But I don't know what exactly people were expecting from the game. It looks solid. It looks like some fun. And honestly, from the reviews that I've read on Steam, they're pretty much split 50-50 on positive versus negative reception. So, you know, some people obviously, I don't want to say more forgiving. That's weird. I couldn't hit that guy. There we go. We're obviously more forgiving with it than others. And hey, if you're upset, you know, that's fine. But that's kind of the issue with Kickstarter, is you're not really guaranteed quality when you back a game on Kickstarter. I mean, I have my reservations about this game too. I mean, this demo certainly shows the game in a very positive light, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the final product is going to be any good at all, actually. Can I? Okay. I should have backpedaled, because that would probably have worked better. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's really a shame, because I think he got overly excited, is what I think happened. He did so well with his funding on the Kickstarter project for Mighty Number 9 that he just started to, you know, work on the next project and the next project without actually finishing Mighty Number 9 first. Had he focused, I think, more on Mighty Number 9 and really refined it more. Like I said, I've not played it, so I don't know really what the issues are, only from what I've read on the Steam forums. But it seems to me that it just doesn't seem as polished as a lot of people were hoping it would be. One review I read actually was very critical of the dash attack in that game, and because he said it didn't feel like the game was built around it, it just felt like a gimmick. Which, fair enough. I mean, it looked like a fun little mechanic, but like I said, I haven't played it, so I don't know how well it works out. But I mean, it looks like a Mega Man game, and I just think had he focused more on the game initially and really polished it up nice and got the game out, and then started talking about his other projects like Red Ash and other things, then maybe there wouldn't be so much bad blood between him and his fans, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm rambling on about it, but back to this game. I think this is, like I said, very positive for this game to show the demo this close after the release of Mighty Number 9, just to show that maybe not all Kickstarter games are going to be complete disasters. Clearly the game's not out yet, this is just the demo, but it's a good showing for it. Okay, so what does that do? Okay, that just opens that up. Alright, so we can just go back up here and go outside. Now the boss fight in this game is a little bit strange because they didn't have the final cinematic done, I think. So basically what you get is a very unfinished ending. It's kind of unsatisfying. Where is the... Here it is. Now, again, I don't remember if I mentioned the shaders on this or not, but I find it kind of difficult to distinguish the background from the foreground. Let's not change areas too quickly again, because that might actually crash the game. This is running on Unreal Engine 4, so a pretty solid platform to build a game on. So hopefully they can fix problems like that. Oh, can I actually go up again there? Hold on. I'm getting a little lost here. Anyway, I know... I'm not exactly sure... Oh, here we go. Now I'm out. Not exactly sure what Konami is going to do going forward. I mean, obviously they're no longer a games company in the traditional sense like they were, because they're showing off, you know, pachinko machines and various other things. Can I go down here? Yeah! So, it's kind of funny to see Igarashi leave Konami, and for Kojima to leave Konami and break off and really tread out on their own and see what they can do, because Konami's just not interested in anything video game related unless it makes them tons of money with microtransactions. Alright, so here's the boss fight. There's a bit of a cinematic here. I gotta say, I really like the design of the main character in this game. It's nice to see a female lead character who's not, you know, who's not ridiculously proportioned or just there because she looks cute. Kind of like Bayonetta, where Bayonetta had certain sex appeal to her, but she wasn't overtly sexual. Same thing with, you know, I can't even remember her name in this. Hold on. Is it Miriam? I think that's it. I'll do some potions real quick so I don't die. The design of this boss is kind of a little over the top, but then again, it is from the makers of Symphony of the Night, so what do you expect? Can I... Okay. We'll just start hitting the tentacle here. But yeah, as you can see, she's very, she has her patterns. She's actually a pretty easy boss to figure out. I'd be interested to know if this is actually going to show up in the finished game, if this whole boat section's going to be part of the original, of the finished product, or if this is just for the demo. Okay, so then because they don't have an ending cinematic, it kind of just freezes, and then thank you for playing. Well, no, thank you. And then it just kind of throws you back to the menu screen. Alright, that was the E3 demo for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I can't believe we actually found a glitch in this. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, I'm looking forward to this game. I did back it on Kickstarter, like I said, so I'm hoping, I have high hopes for this. I hope it comes out well. All right, well, that was it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.